So will we have the return of Casey this episode? Hey everyone, welcome to Prince the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Season 2 Episode 10. So, last time we had the museum and stuff, we had the doctor who's there. Not the doctor, not like Doctor Who, but the doctor guy who was, kind of losing his shit over some, kids. But we also had the return of Lunella's Kree crush. Kid Kree was his hero, quote unquote, name. Can't remember his regular name right now. Marvin or something like that. Anyway, I think it was Marvin for his human name too. So that might have been it. Anyway, yeah, we had that, and it was a good episode, a good return to things, and had a lot of fun with it. I still think that this crush they have is definitely akin to like a childhood crush, to where it's like they don't really have enough chemistry together, or on top of that, they also don't really know each other that well, because let's be honest, they met once. They met once, developed a slight crush on each other because they're kids, and now they've met again, and it's like, this is not how you like build a lasting relationship. And I know it's a cartoon and everything, but this show is too smart for that. You have to take that into account. This show is so smart, so well written, and it's gonna understand that what they have is just a childhood crush. They just kind of like each other, because that's what kids do. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's not anything that really lasts. Because the thing is, and I've said this many times, love at first sight doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. You can lust after someone at first sight, you can have a crush on them, but you don't love them. Because love requires time, effort, and actually getting to fucking know someone. And again, these two barely know each other. They're like not even that like close of friends. Again, they've met twice now. They have like less than a day's worth of time knowing each other. And I'm not saying this like just as like a reason to ship Lunella and Casey. Like, I'm not that pathetic. I'm pretty pathetic. Like, I like my gay ships, but I'm not that pathetic. Because I'm not even like fully on board with that ship either. There's more chemistry there, for obvious reasons, but even there, it's not like super strong. It's not like a Lumity type thing, where Luz and Amity just had insane chemistry that grew more and more as the series continued. Or even Anne and Sasha from Amphibia. Like, they had more chemistry, honestly. But it would still be more fitting from a writing perspective and a character perspective. But that's also kind of why I don't think it'll necessarily last. I mean, also because Kid Kree, let's be honest, is not going to be a major character. He's just a recurring side character. He might have a role to play in a major plot point, but overall, he's not a major character. I think this is just like the equivalent of your first crush kind of thing. It's just as simple as that. It's not meant to be a lasting thing. It's not meant to be like this big deal. It's just a light crush, and that's fine. Because kids go through that. I've gone through that when I was a kid. I think pretty much everyone has. It happens. But we still have a lot of other things to figure out. And again, we're still in like the first half of the season. We still have like another half of the season to go. And I mean after we catch up with this. After these 14 episodes, we have another half to go that hasn't come out yet. And it's just, there's going to be a lot more bigger things going on to where this isn't really going to be important. I'm very excited to see what more they do with it, though, because I do like these characters, these character moments that like grow and develop these characters, and I think this show does excellently at that. So, just wanted to kind of ramble on about that for a little bit before we got this started. But I think we should get this started. It's time to see what this episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur has in store for us. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but I upload them on the weekend. And don't forget all the gaming content we have both on this channel and the Secondary Princess of Gaming channel. We have Horizon Forbidden West every other day and Baldur's Gate 3 every single day on this channel, while we also have Nier Automata every Saturday on the other. And don't forget to click the link down in the description below to get to today's reaction. I redirected just due to copyright reasons. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get on to the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I mean, am I surprised David Tennant would do a role like this? No, not at all. Like, he absolutely would. I'm just surprised that he was in here. I was not expecting that. Like, it caught me so off guard. And then his ship is just the TARDIS. It's the same color. The lights on the inside are the same color. It's just the fucking TARDIS. And it's not the first time this show has made a reference to other things. It makes a lot of anime references, but I guess it makes sense that, okay, you're gonna have David Tennant in an episode. Let's make fucking Doctor Who references up the wazoo. But it's like, what? And then Casey also made a JoJo face, and it's like, oh my god. You know what's funny? This episode makes me think back to the episode we watched, like, right before we took our break. It was the devil-focused episode with him and, like, the other animal sidekicks. And if you remember right, I was not a big fan of that episode. I think it was a little contrived and kind of dumb and... excuse me. Not all that great in terms of its writing. This is not entirely the same thing for a lot of obvious reasons, but there's a similarity to it with the animal focus and everything, and it's so drastically better. Like, this episode was great. It was so entertaining, it was so fun, it was funny, the dog pun counter is hilarious. The references, David fucking Tennant out of nowhere as Franklin's voice. It's just like, how can you not love it? But even on top of that, it has a really good lesson about just judging people based on narrow-minded assumptions, based on appearances, based on very little information. If we're being honest here, Lunella was being very hypocritically xenophobic. She assumed that Franklin was bad and evil and everything because he was an alien. Her entire reasoning for suspecting him was entirely because he was an alien, because he wasn't a normal dog. And it started just because she saw him, like, standing normally on two legs. This is the girl who has a crush on an alien, by the way, who also, ironically enough, is blue, but I don't think that's important. um, she has a crush on an alien and everything, yet she acts xenophobic towards an alien, assuming he's bad just because he's an alien, because he's not a normal dog. She assumes he has to be behind all of this bad stuff going on with other dogs in New York and parts of New Jersey and stuff, just because he's an alien. That is kind of the definition of xenophobic. It's like, Lunella, girl, I know you're a kid, but you're better than that. And I'm not going to say it's like out of character, because Lunella does some stupid shit sometimes. As smart as she is a kid. And sometimes she does let certain viewpoints and biases get to her. And I think the reason why she was so aggressively against Franklin was because of his proximity to her grandfather, who she adores, but also because this was all happening at the same time as all of this dog-based crime was going on. And as Moon Girl, she has this kind of like automatic like sense for trying to solve crimes and, be a hero. It's what she does. So getting an episode here where she just like automatically goes into hero mode and automatically suspects Franklin especially because he's in proximity to her grandfather while all this is going on. It's like, it makes sense. It's not out of character for her at all. But it's like, girl, the xenophobia is not a good look. And she apologized multiple times. She made it very clear how sorry she was. She made it very clear that she was in the wrong. And I think that's what saves this from being a little, like, off because of that. Because if she didn't apologize, like so aggressively like this, I think it would give kind of this weird impression of like making assumptions based on that very little information. But this teaches the kids who are going to be watching this, or even adults, that yeah, that's a bad thing to do, and you definitely should not do that. It makes it very clear multiple times, kind of over and over, that, yeah, judging someone based on narrow-minded assumptions is kind of fucked up. And not okay. And it's a very important lesson. It really is. And I'm glad that that's the lesson they went with. And it makes sense for the show to have a lesson like going against xenophobia, considering this show talks about like quite a bit of modern topics and all, or at least touches on them. So yeah. Also, I feel like the fact that the bad guy was named Cat was the biggest fucking hint that she was the bad guy. It's like, okay, this is like the head of this dog show. The character's name is Cat. It's like having a bunch of characters who are sheep and naming the bad guy Wolf. It's like it's so blatantly obvious who doesn't belong here. And I think that was super intentional, of course. It was supposed to be kind of silly like that, but Cat is also just a real name. Like, there's a lot of people named Cat. I've known people named Cat. So it's like, at first, you don't really think about it. It's just, it's surprisingly clever. But this show does that. It's a really clever show. And it's like, it's wild how it can take something that obvious and make it almost not noticeable at first. This was a great episode, and fucking David Tennant. Like, you could have made a number of references. You didn't have to make it all Doctor Who. You could have made a Good Omens reference. You could have made a DuckTales reference, even. He's done other things. I know, Doctor Who is the big thing he's known for. It's like, that's where I first, like, heard about him and stuff, too. But it's like, I mean, I guess the character is also an alien. So I guess it kind of makes sense in that regard. But still, his ship was just the fucking TARDIS converted into Snoopy's doghouse or something. Like, it was so obvious. It was so obvious. Not to mention, his voice is just super recognizable. He has a very recognizable voice. So it's like, kind of the instant I heard it, I knew it was him. It's just, my God. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And I guess I'll see y'all next time. Till then, like, I'm Connie. I'm signing off. See you then.